Welcome viewers. Today we are going to discuss the basic perception of parallel in, parallel out shift register. A chip of shift register is used to convert a string of data from parallel to perform this operation. A shift register is required, the data to be generated in a parallel manner and output in a parallel form that is described a parallel in, parallel out shift register. We use this shift register because this type of shift register can be worked as a temporary storage device. In, parallel out shift register, the data is applied in a parallel fashion to the parallel input from D0 to D3 of the register and then shifted to the corresponding output Q0 to Q3 when the registers are clocked. The shift register would require one clock pulse to load and one clock pulse to be unloaded. As an analogy, let us consider a tank. We pour water into the tank from numerous taps which fills the tank in a parallel fashion. Now let us analyze that there are several taps at the bottom of the tank which when released drains out the water in a parallel fashion. In, parallel out shift register, the data is also applied in a parallel way and read out the output in a parallel manner as shown in the figure. This figure shows the circuit of a parallel in, parallel out shift register where D0 is the first input, D1 is the second input, D2 is the third input and D3 is the fourth input. And corresponding output of these flip-flops will be Q0, Q1, Q2 and Q3. A single clock pulse is applied to all the flip-flops. Here we use the data 1101. In the case of this 1101 string of data, the following procedure will be: at first, the 4-bit data is loaded to the input of each flip-flop. Initially, the output becomes 0000. When we apply the first clock pulse, the data is shifted from input to output in this way. So, the output becomes 1101. This figure illustrates the timing diagram of parallel in, parallel out shift register. During the first clock pulse, Q1 becomes 1, Q2 becomes 1, Q3 becomes 0 and Q4 becomes 1. In, parallel out shift register, we use only one clock pulse to load the data. In today's lecture, we have learned the basic concept of parallel in, parallel out shift register, the circuit operation of parallel in, parallel out shift register, the timing diagram of parallel in, parallel out shift register. With that, we are at the end of this lecture. In the next lecture, we will meet again. Till then, practice the relations repeatedly. Thank you and goodbye.